stream here in the Alpha channel going down between North Texas and ASU Maroon. Been a lot of good games thus far. Cam, how have you been feeling about this playoff action?
Unbelievable, Morgan. You're getting a taste of everything. You got the dark horses making their runs. You got the power teams just completely pushing through games. You got close ones. Everything that you could ask for in this. It's just so amazing to have 4 different streams going, so many games all at once. And now we got another good one. 2 really equally matched teams, I feel like, are both going to be vouching to move forward in the standings. You just couldn't ask for much more. And I'm so excited for you. I just love it.
Yeah, and if you're just dropping by, we can give you guys a quick look at the schedule, both for today and on how things are going to be looking going forward. At this point, we have made our way to that 10 p.m. Eastern slot. Had some very good action early on, and now we're having to play catch-up to get back through. And then just keep a pick. This is your time to grab that screenshot when you want to have it in your schedule at what's going to be going down over the next 2 days. Plenty of games still to come. But as you said, Cam, we got to focus on the one right here, right now. North Texas and ASU Maroon. We can take a look over at how they got here thus far. Or really, it's still round of 64. We took a step back. And who they're going to be facing after this, the USD Coyotes got that first round bye after Purdue Gold is not there. That's kind of heaven sent for these two squads. No longer do you have to worry about the number 1 seed. And that means this game becomes all the more important because they can actually get a very deep run.
Got to be licking your chops. Absolutely, Morgan. I mean, that's just a huge opportunity to force yourself into the round of 16. Then all of a sudden, if you do fall into losers, you're in a much better spot. So, yeah, for both of these teams, huge opportunity. I will say USD is no team to scoff at by any means. They're really, really good, play a good control. So you definitely are going to be in a good spot if you can get there, but it's not a surefire win by any means.
Yeah, and everything is so big. And the fact that there have been a number of those upper teams that have dropped out recently that gave guys who weren't really expecting to get through those first round buys, it really means a lot for their chances going forward. So it's going to be interesting to watch out. Coming back to these teams we have right here, though, starting with North Texas, we can take a look over at their stats and not doing too bad thus far in the season. This is the 4 versus 5 matchup, so it's kind of right next to each other. There's no heavy favorites, but North Texas is coming in as the 4 seed, 13-4. What do you like for them?
Yeah, I mean, you're looking at the hardpoint record, 14-10. Pretty good, but the differential not by that much. So that means other teams are having their fair share of points in every game they've played. I really am looking at North Texas to win this first map. It feels like the Search and Destroy on Miami for ASU Maroon is kind of their pick. That's the one that they've been looking for. So you have to think they're going to be falling back on that in map 2. Really going to be important for North Texas to get out hot out the gates and win map 1.
And then take a look over at their opponents, our away team. It's going to be ASU Maroon. They are only 1 map lower on the overall win-loss. But take a look at that hardpoint differential. When they win big. You said right then, you like North Texas here in map number 1. It is not going to be easy to sneak one by these Sun Devils, though.
Yeah, and I look at this team as one that has something to prove. They're playing with a chip on their shoulder. 12-5 is probably not a record they're too happy with. And I mean, there's even been questions about the ASU Gold team and which one's better. Like, I think those are the kind of questions they want to put to bed and come out with a strong win in this series. So I think they're going to be looking for a hot 3-0. They have the upper hand in the hard point. Really feels like North Texas have to win it because if it goes to that Search and Destroy, sure, they're 9-7, but their go-to map has been Miami. They're 6-1 there. That's where we're going to go in map 2. So really going to be important for North Texas to not fall down in the first map.
All right, and I believe actually while we were going through these stat runs down, map number 3 got finished over there on the Charlie stream, finished in a quick 3-0 in favor of Navarro. So they just came through and really brought it to Colorado Black today. That's another one of those dark horse upset kind of matchups, especially Navarro right at the end of the regular season lost a close one against Tulsa. I was questioning if they'd be able to regain, but they come in strong through qualifiers. They come in strong here on day 1 and they get themselves a big upset.
Yeah, we casted that match together, the Tulsa match, and it was Tulsa who won it. They are kind of a dark horse right now in the tournament as well. When I look at Navarro, though, it's another one of these teams. They got the star player, and then everybody kind of just playing around, playing off of him. That's Relk. I mean, he told me there's a chip on their shoulder as well because they're a junior college. Like, they don't have that many students. they're trying to make a name for themselves. There's very few junior colleges in the CCL, so another team that's really trying to prove a point and doing exactly that so far, taking down a tough Colorado team. A 3-0 in the control.
Actually,
really
take that back. It's Navarro is up 2-1. They did 3-0 the control. They have not yet won the game,
right. Yep.
but they're in a good spot. They're ready to go.
Still making a big statement going up 2-1 like that. You're right. It's not over just yet. But if they can get that win, they're another one of these dark horse teams you really want to pay attention to. As long as Relk is playing good, they're going to have a chance in any game. He's one of the top players in the entire league. Got to show him some love. So if he's playing good, look out for Navarro College.
Yeah, so coming back to this Alpha Stream matchup, though, the 4 versus the 5, we're kicking things off on the Garrison hardpoint. You said that you were kind of expecting North Texas to bring this one home. Explain your thought process behind that. Why do you think that these guys are going to have the edge in such a close matchup?
Yeah, so I don't know so much that they will win. I just think they need to win.
It's a gut feeling, maybe a little bit.
A little bit of a gut feeling. I just think they need to win it. Like they should be trying to by any means necessary, just because of the fact that map 2 is ASU's pick. They're 6-1 on Miami. You have to think they'd be winning that. So for North Texas, you don't want to fall behind in map 1 because then they're probably going to win they have a good chance at least of winning map 2. I think that's the thought process there. I don't know necessarily that they will win it or that I think they will. I just think they want to and that they should be trying to, because if they fall behind in that first map, the second one could be a big chance for ASU to go up 2-0 pretty early in the series. So
yeah, especially because we saw that North Texas, when they do win those hard points, it's very close. They only had about a 30-point differential throughout them all, which, can be a thing of they win big and they lose big. But I think it's a lot more that they just kind of struggle to close out that games. They often let people hang around. Against this ASU Maroon squad, that isn't something you really want to give them the chance to do. Going into the Miami, as you said as well, that's what jumped out to me looking at these stats. ASU Maroon loves the Miami SND. They loved it before it kind of got changed up, and they are still doing so good. Now 6-1 on that. Even if they are close matchups, you don't want to be going into that game behind. It is all on to North Texas early here to get that momentum rolling.
Yeah, and it really has to come as a team. Like, you don't have any one player you can fall back on to kind of create those openings and be the go-to guy. Yeah, Rudd, probably the one you're looking at with the 1.6, the highest KD in hardpoint on the team. Then you got your captain in Spence. He's going to have to play big as well. But we know that once it goes to the search and destroy, the kill death start to drop off a little bit. It's really not necessarily the strongest mode for North Texas, but for both teams, I mean, it's been a bit of an up and down journey to get to this point throughout the season. 12-5 and 13-4, yeah, you might be like, oh, that's a heavily favoring win-loss record, but I don't know. I feel like for both of these teams, they probably would have wanted to have a better regular season. So again, it's really just a big moment right now to prove themselves early in the bracket. Obviously, you don't want to fall into losers. We talked about how in the round of 32, there was a bye. They'd be playing against an 8 seed, so it's really just a huge opportunity to put yourself in a good spot in the bracket early on.
Yeah, these are the type of teams I really do feel like they kind of have that chance. They both have possibly fluky losses on their schedule, some ones that you feel like they should have won and they could have had that better record. But because of that, people might not be respecting them as much as they deserve, especially if they're going to go in this matchup against one another. It's not really one of these teams has to win, so it's not like they get an upset. Then you go up against the 8 seed, and if you win that one, people aren't going to be that shocked. It's not going to gain you too much respect from being a 4 seed. So by the time they start going up against those 2 seeds, against those 1 seeds, if one of these teams can make it that far, that can really be your advantage. You aren't getting respected as much as you probably should be, and you might be able to surprise one of those powerhouse squads.
I love that angle, Morgan. Yeah, people are going to be sleeping on you probably until the very end, which you could absolutely have play into your favor. The other thing I'm looking at, I mean, both teams coming in off a loss for North Texas. Sure, it's against Ottawa Gold, and you have to wonder maybe they learned a few things or two from one of the top teams in the entire league. And then for ASU Maroon, a game 5 loss to Grossmont. You have to wonder there too if there's a learning curve to take away from it. But I mean, I think there's a way you could turn that too, where losing your last match is not necessarily the worst thing in the world. For what I'm saying, like you could have learned some big stuff from going that deep into a series, from going to a game 5, and hopefully you can make some big adjustments going into this. But again, it's the playoffs. Everything is on the table right now. You're throwing everything into the wind. Like you're not holding back anything at this point. If you've got a trick up your sleeve, now's the time to pull it out.
And everything is, in terms of which of those two losses is going to be a bigger impact on this current game, I think it's going to be North Texas's against Ottawa because, yes, you're going up against such a good team. There was a lot of stuff you can probably learn from that VOD. But also, getting 3-0'd never feels good, especially if you're a team that's used to winning. So what's their process? What has it been like since that loss? Have they taken all they can out of it, gotten their heads back on their shoulders, ready to go? Or have they just kind of been wallowing in that, waiting to get back into a not easy match here against ASU Maroon? And if they are not on top of their game right from the start, it can get ugly very, very quickly. I feel like for ASU's side, you lose a 3-2, it's kind of like, that sucks, but we were almost there. It doesn't really hit the morale as much as a 3-0 clean sweep does.
The more we build this one up, I'm just really starting to feel the hunger for both of these teams. Like this one could be going down the stretch without a doubt. Like it just feels like for both of these teams, there's so much pushing them and driving them into this match. Like we're talking about, not only the fact that maybe people are sleeping on them, but they're both coming off losses. One is a 3-0, the other one's in game 5. Like you can look at both of those in so many different ways. Really feels like we're about to see a culmination of a lot of different things from both of these teams once this match gets underway. It'll be Garrison to start. And again, I think for North Texas, it's really got to come as a team. I think for ASU Maroon, yes, it has to come as a team, obviously, but at the same time, I think you have some more of those individual players who can have a big impact. Really, just whoever's stepping up, let them do their thing. Everybody else kind of fill in those holes around them is probably going to be the thought process.
We had a bit of a mind meld right there, Camber, because I was about to bring up that same thing, is that we talked about these key players on North Texas, how they kind of are all across the board pretty similar on the hard point. You're not going to have one guy taking over unless they play out of their mind. But on ASU Maroon, you have a clear best player. It's the captain. It's Effectini at a 1.97 KD, right underneath the 2 KD on hardpoint. You got to play off of him. If he is not on point, everything else falls apart. And it's not just the hardpoint. He is up there. He has their best control. He has the most hill time. He is up there in their overall search and destroy KD. You have a clear all-star player, and that puts a lot of pressure on his shoulders to continue performing at that level. That's why whenever we get to the playoffs of leagues like this, I kind of start to favor the team players, the teams that play off of everyone, because if you have so much pressure on one guy, he can crack at any moment.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on that one guy, but also pressure on the rest of the team too. If he's doing his job, if he's playing like a beast like he has all season long, well, now all of a sudden the eyes turn to the other players, and how are you playing off of that success? How are you picking up his trades or being the one on the hill when he's finding kills? For Effectini, it's the fact that he's a slayer. Yeah, almost a 2 KD. He's also the one with the most time on the point. So this dude just does everything for your team. If he's making it so easy on you, I'm going to be looking at the other players too to be like, okay, this guy's doing everything right now. What are you doing to show him some support? And Effectini obviously has the remnants of Prestini. He's kind of going to be that snake player getting into the back line, being that thorn in your side. Definitely going to be paying attention to him, but also going to be paying attention to how his teammates react if he's having success.
And that's a very important role to play on Garrison. There's a lot of times where one player takes a good flank and you can get 3 quick kills on Garrison. You can sneak around behind. It's one of those maps where there's kind of like a very clear main rotation pattern, but there's a lot of good ways to sneak around them, get those flanks, and just drop by. If you find the perfect moment to creep through vents, because sometimes it's just so hard to always be aware of that route, you can get behind 3 members and knock them out like it means nothing. So that is something very important as we can try and drop into them. Map number 1, it is Garrison on the hard point. You said North Texas need to get it. I couldn't agree more. But as we've talked about it so far at this point, all I know is I'm hyped for this game to get going.
So hyped for it. Now, yeah, North Texas need to win it, but I think for ASU Maroon, if you're going to win it, you want to do it in commanding fashion, bring the momentum into the Miami. And we talk about it all year long, too, how this is really like a submachine gun playground for a lot of players. There's so many different routes you can hit and corners you can hide in. There's underneath the entire map. You can go under the tanks down there. Yeah. Not only that, but for the assault rifle players, too, it can be a playground, getting these power positions, top floating, top green. Those are the kind of things you really have to be keeping track of if you're a team, if you're a captain. Okay, I cleared out this space. Somebody get in top green, look over the top of me, be ready to rotate. because those kind of things can be so huge as we jump into it.
Well, here we go. We have finally made our way into the third matchup, and you can see North Texas on your top left, ASU Maroon on your top right, in the first firefight about to go down here on P1. At this point, it's playoffs. Everybody knows how the rotations work, how the strategies are going to go, but where do you think between these two teams, how they play, will the game be made or broken? What point is going to be it all?
Well, P2, P3, those are the big ones, and then when it gets to 4 and 5, it can be pretty scrappy. I think on 4 and 5, less so about getting on the hill. Yes, obviously you want to do that, but more so about getting in those power positions, being up in top green, top floating, wherever it may be. Put yourself in a good spot to rotate to the next one. You don't have to put so much focus on the hill, but you really want to be controlling the spawn. Right now, it's back and forth on 1. Obviously, the rotation to 2 going to be pretty important. Nobody's really over there just yet. Finally, number 5 for ASU Maroon, Germ, is going to get over there and try to get his team the positioning.
Might be a difficult play for Germ, though, as here comes North Texas the other way. Good shots there from Itachi. Going to give them support. Now, out of top green they come. Germ gets traded off by Trippy Gus, and so the site goes over to ASU Maroon to kick things off, and there has been no real break until this point. North Texas are still in position. They can try and do something, but as their team kind of gets picked off one after the next, it makes it difficult to find a push, and well handled by ASU Maroon as they take a second to breathe.
Yep, they're going to have a huge second to breathe here. Still 40 seconds to fight for, so you're not looking for map control just yet. Keep hanging on to the point. Itachi slowing him down up top. Finally, they have to push on through. Such a difficult head glitch to find a kill. He gets 2 more. Trippy around the back end creates the opening. Spence there as well. 30 seconds to fight for, but even if Itachi dies here, he might get a favorable spawn, and the rest of his team is over there already at P3. He's making big plays on the point. Massive right here for Maroon.
One bullet away from the cruise missile, but I hope you didn't blink. We already have a score streak in the game. The artillery ready to get thrown out. And I think Garrison is one of those hard points where the score streaks can make or break some of these points. They can completely flip how the teams play it. So that is massive for ASU Maroon. And we were calling out FXini, but Itachi, the first one to come through and make those big plays. Now we're over onto P3, and he got North Texas kind of pinned in. They need a big kill to break into the site. There's one from Spence, but immediately answered by 3. ASU Maroon doing a good job, and here comes FXini. We were talking about the flank opportunities. Gets 2 there, and now you already got to be looking towards the P4 positioning.
Yeah, and there was enough of a team kill there for North Texas to flip out the spawns. They get the close one. They're able to get on the hill. Still 30 seconds here. Enough would be enough to retake the lead. Still getting that close spawn. And yeah, for ASU Maroon, like you say, got to start to think about, do we want to keep pushing for this hill, or do we want to just set up on the map, keep them hold it in back there, because it's a difficult rotation to make here if you're the ones on P3. Still, lead change maybe upcoming. Fantini's going to make one final push for the point. Be careful, though. You don't want to flip out those spawns. Not going to do it just yet. It's going to be North Texas forced to try to make a break.
And you got to give credit to North Texas off of that one. They weren't really the first ones there, but they get a couple big kills. They flip the spawns, as you say, and they tie the game right back up. The slaying from ASU Maroon side is still on point. Every single member is positive. They have come out much hotter, but this is one of those maps. You and me have seen it so often. It is so tough to close someone out, even if you are out slaying them. So the rotations become so important, and the times you get those big kills become huge. North Texas get a few in a row. They wipe ASU Maroon off, and now they just get the point for free.
Yeah, me and you saw what almost was the greatest comeback in Call of Duty history, so I'm never going to count the team out if they go down big. But you're right, the spawn's flipping. Hitachi finding 3 big kills up top to regain the height advantage. Now his team's going to be in a good spot for the next rotation. Still 20 seconds that they can grab here on the hold time. They're going to get it. Itachi's still going beast mode up in top green. Finds 2 more. He's starting to work towards more streaks. He still has that artillery. But like I say, height advantage for his squad as they make the rotation to P5.
It's kind of an awkward moment to go on another streak, though, because where is he going to throw that artillery? Everything is inside right now. I guess you don't have it quite yet, so hold on until it's guaranteed. But Itachi, man, coming out so hot right now. He wants to make a statement here, but shut down inside of Brick. Dustino gets himself 2, can't quite find the 3rd, and the firefight for P5 starts going down. 30-point lead has grown for ASU Maroon. They took control there from P4, but it's still in that moment where there have been big plays. There have been big frags, but no one has really taken over one hill completely. It has been back and forth. I'm waiting for that one massive power hill to set the pace and show who is playing from in front and who is playing from behind. Yeah,
I totally agree with you, Morgan. It feels like North Texas doing just enough to stay in this one, but now ASU is starting to pull away. They're getting valuable time here on P5. Finally, Spence going to get that kill. Got to try to regain some map control when it goes to P1. If Maroon has it, they can turn it into some solid time. They're building a lead. Effectini's going to find another one. And again, this is a moment right now where if you don't get these power positions, they can turn this into even more time.
Here we go, already Effectini on the point doing just that, racking up as much as you can. Denpai on a pretty easy flank around gets one, and Dustino finding another big double kill in the back line. Has gotten a few of those, but is still struggling to get over on positive. North Texas, we were talking earlier about their ability to stick in the game despite the kills, as just sliding around the corner comes Effectini, but at some point you have to at least find some kills. It can't be the entire game just relying on better rotation, on that good timing, and you're starting to see that now. They're within 40 points, but it's kind of slipping away from them.
This is a big moment. This is a tipping point. You got to delegate some bodies over towards P2. Yes, you got to retake control of P1. They're able to do that. 15 seconds is going to be good, but ASU Maroon are in a good spot to hold down the money hill. Start to talk about how you want to make your breaks. Think that extra step ahead. Do we want to hit the long rush? Do we want to push through green? Everybody falling right now, so you're going to be coming off spawn. It's going to be a long run. If that kill can come through up top green, it won't. It would have been huge. This isn't looking good for North Texas because Maroon could really open up a big lead here.
I completely agree, because that was a clean rotation compared to the first time around. ASU Maroon knew that they had to get there a little bit early. They have everyone in on the site. Now North Texas forced to try and make that play through top green, because Bricks has been effectively locked down here. Although Kodesh just doesn't even look in that corner, ends up falling to another double kill, this time from Dempai. He tries to make a push, get some contest time through. Not going to find that much value out of the life, though. One final try here from North Texas to start thinking about don't give up those backside spawns, see what you can do, and there goes the commit. A bit of a two versus two over on the right side of the map to see who can get over to P3 first.
Yeah, Trippy Gus is going to be trying to buy some time for his team. Peter tottering the shoulders back and forth. Big kill on the Germ. Two-piece won't happen. We'll have to see where his spawn comes through. Might be, it's actually right by his teammates on the point. Huge stuff for North Texas. You slow down a little bit of that time for ASU Maroon. Now you have another chance here to bring it on back. You need a big kill.
Here we go. Coder's going to try and open things up there. Gets the headshot onto Trippy Gus. North Texas have people there, but no one is actually in on the point right now. They are pinned inside, and now finally you'll see that hard point light up green and the score start creeping their direction. Spence and Dempai combined for 3 straight, forcing off ASU, and that is a long rotation back across. Are they ready for it, though? Just not looking the right way. Itachi comes through for the first one. Spence answers, but gets taken down quickly, and now North Texas are the ones trying to run in towards the point. They've gotten a good amount of time right now. They are slowly creeping back into this game, but as Itachi comes around the corner, he gets the big shots onto Trippy Gus. Denpai needs to find a big kill, spraying, can't get it in time to turn it into 2, and North Texas barely stay alive, but it feels like you would have wanted a lot more off of that hill getting there early.
They're going to get that final 10 seconds, but it's going to come at the cost of having the bad spawn for the next kill. What do ASU Maroon do with this opportunity? They take it as a chance to nearly close out the game. You have to push through the dark room. This is the way to do it. Big opening kill for Trippy. Spence finds another. This is huge for North Texas, but you still have to play kill Germ in the top here in this power position. Coming off spawn is ASU Maroon. You're on the point, but you don't have the height advantage.
Need to find it in top green. That is how you get this comeback going. And Dustino able to find a big kill. 3 quick ones for North Texas. And we are not out of this one quite yet. It is going to creep within a 20-point differential. And spawns get flipped across. ASU Maroon coming from that right side of the map. One gets picked off on the cross. But Itachi again playing big when he needs to. A double kill leaving Spence all alone on this defense. He gets taken down. And the site gets flipped back around. That should be enough for ASU Maroon to cross that 200-point mark. And they are looking for that big hill to close it all. They are looking for the win. But as we've said all day, North Texas sticking around. They refuse to lose this game thus far. A lot of that off the back of Spence, who has finally come out ahead. But is it going to be enough as Effectini goes big for a double kill before Dustino trades it?
Yeah, huge trades throughout the map. Now we see where the spawns come through. It's a pinch for North Texas. They can take advantage of it if they're aware. One player's going to get onto the point, and everybody's spawning up right now for ASU Maroon as well. You just have to kill Germ. Are they going to pick up on this? You got to turn your heads to the right. Everybody needs to pick up an individual lane. ASU Maroon trying to flood on in, and North Texas trying to make their way back on a scrappy hill here with P5. Destino, that's a huge one. Still on the point. You got players. Factini's going to try to make the play now. He's able to find 1 kill. Trades again. Back and forth they go. North Texas finding him. ASU Maroon finding their own. It's all over the place, Morgan.
It's a maelstrom in the point right now, but North Texas just a little bit faster. It seemed like for a moment there, both teams lost track of where spawns were. There were chances of pinches and flanks, and North Texas just recovered a bit quicker. Now, though, as the last 10 seconds go through, you're looking at the positioning, looking to get over towards P1, and it is ASU Maroon set up where they need to be. 2 quick kills coming out inside of the map. It's going to be the next cross now for North Texas. Who can get there? Dustino answers on to Coders, but he has to stay alive, give his teammates a little bit of time to come back around. Spence now dropping in 20-point difference as we hit P1 for the 3rd time through. Germ gets a big double kill, but North Texas have managed to survive thus far, and we're getting into the final big plays.
Yep, and I understand you got to contest. You got to make sure this game at least goes to another hard point, but you also have to be the first ones to P2 if you want to win it. Maroon right now are on the point, and it's huge stuff as Itachi pushes out pretty far. Still not going to influence the spawn. Maroon could win it right here. North Texas have to put so much focus down. This is going to be tough. Big kills out of Spence to find 2. Dustino falls. This is a big gunfight right now. If Victini's going to win it, trade good for Denpai, but again, you have to start turning your focus to P2.
Now you have to. They can't win off of this hill right now. Go over to P2, and Denpai gonna be the first one across. Managed to sneak by Germ, but he goes down. So 3 members there for a moment on the point for ASU Maroon. They are ready. They have locked in their angles, and that is a big kill out of Coders. Down inside of Brick, shuts down any form of rotation. It has to happen now for Dustino and Denpai. 5 seconds remaining. The rush is on. They got Effectini spotted out. Where's the man's help gonna come from? There was no one there, and ASU Maroon survive to win map number 1.
Unbelievable stuff, and not to take away from what was just a great match, but there is a great one happening over on Charlie as well, so I don't know if we'll be able to time. We'll try. It's really fire between Navarro and Colorado. We'll jump right into the action, Morgan.
Oh, yeah, Charlie going big. See if we can get that onto the full screen, actually, because it is down to the last 10 seconds for both. 240 to 237. Navarro looking to win this one in the upset over Colorado Black, and it's coming down right here, right now. They seem like they're going to have it. Colorado, they are completely committing to the next hill. It is P4 or nothing here on Moscow as Nitros looks to get this rotation around the backside. 5 seconds now for Colorado to take it hold. Navarro just needed one, but what a play out of Colorado. They knew their timing. They went for the rotation, and they win it 250 to 249. They're going to a map 5.
My, that was one of those moments where that last second tick on this hill didn't go over to Navarro, and it forces a rotation. Colorado are the ones there. It's really one of those 50-50 plays. There's going to be a game 5 in this series. It's been so good over on the Charlie stream.
Ooh.
Oh my, both streams, we just saw insane games, but that one, 250 to 249, that last second just doesn't go over. Woo! The Bulldogs almost did it.
We go from a 29-point hard point to a 1-point hard point. And just what a call out of Colorado. I don't know if it was they knew their timing and they trusted it, or they're just like, it's all or nothing. This is a coin flip. If it doesn't work out, we weren't going to win it anyway. It pays off beautifully because it was a one-or-done choice after that. Navarro had to get that initial break. They went over there, they get slain, and they go all the way to a map 5. Now it starts to look a little bit rough for those underdogs. Bring it back to Alpha for a second, though. We got 2 great games. North Texas tried to stay alive, but they couldn't quite close it out.
Yeah, and it was really, they were kind of playing on the back foot, but they were doing a good job with it. Like you said, they were keeping themselves in it. It was a very close game down the stretch. I think overall, you had players like Itachi managing those power positions a little bit better. He spent most of his time in top green. Some of those hills were just stronger for Maroon, too. Some of their holds, they were just getting a little bit extra of time. And although North Texas make it interesting, they also Maroon makes that rotation to P2 in the final stages. That was good enough to close it out. We'll go to a Miami Search and Destroy, ASU's pick, so we're definitely looking at them to win this one. Mm-hmm. But for North Texas, it's a chance to slow things down, make the plays a little more with your brain, try to play those brain games. What do you have in terms of Search and Destroy when the pace of play slows down a little bit?
Well, Miami really reminds me kind of, if you bring it back to Modern Warfare, which I know everyone hates to think back to, but It kind of reminds me of Piccadilly in that some teams were just really good at Piccadilly and a lot of teams kind of avoided it. At least here in the CCL, we have not seen Miami that much. A lot of people don't really go that right away. It's come through as a lot of map 5s before, but you don't often see it as map 2. And so I think that goes a long way. I feel like ASU are going to be on a different level with this map knowledge. Reminder, they are 6-1 on this map mode combination. And that's just the initial thing that calls out to me. So no matter how the pace of play goes, even if North Texas would like it to slow down, to take away from Itachi, take away from Effectini, I don't know if it'll happen. And there are good places to play fast on Miami. Right off the break, you can have your SMG just rush in and say, I either get a double kill or I go down right here, and it determines the round. So I'm really feeling it for ASU Maroon right now, but it's playoffs. Anything can happen.
Anything can absolutely happen, and I think you make a great point. More teams going to A as the season's gone on. More and more, you see more and more attempts to go to A. So I think the assault rifles for the defensive side are going to play a big role. You have to be the guy who's kind of watching from top visitors or even that back lifeguard booth. You have to pick up some big kills or at least enough to slow down the push so your teammates can rotate over and support. Like you said, Morgan, teams avoid this map. Maroon has made it their strength. It's really a good mindset to have because now they can pull it out of their back pocket in the playoffs. You really have to be looking at them to win this one. For North Texas, though, how much studying have you done? How much research do you have to fall back on as well? Because it really is Maroon's go-to map.
Yeah, I'm wondering that too. I'm wondering, is there a reason that this got through bans? Because looking at what ASU Maroon plays, this would have been my first ban. This would have been like, Miami SND is their bread and butter. So maybe North Texas were coming in with the mindset of, we're not winning SND either way. Maroon are good on SND. But when we saw kind of the score line, they were plus less than a round on search and destroy. It was very close. Actually, if at all possible, if we could bring up ASU Maroon stats again to show that off, but it was very close. So North Texas, I feel like SND is where they should have been focusing. This is where their ban should have gone, and letting Miami through is questionable unless they have a strategy, unless they thought it out.
Yeah, they absolutely could, and you're right. Although it's 6-1, that's like the only map and mode that ASU is having success on in Search and Destroy. They're 9-7 on the mode overall. For North Texas, they're 14-7. So you're absolutely right. Maybe they were just like, you know what, our search overall is so good that we're willing to give them their go-to map. We'll still beat them on it, and then when it comes down to that Express, things will be all up in the air if it gets there. But it's absolutely going to be an interesting one here, Morgan. I'm interested to see what these teams try to do. Are you going to B? Are you going to A? Are you taking mid control? So much can happen on Miami. We're getting ready to jump into it, so I'm excited.
This has obviously become a massive map for North Texas as well, because what I think map number 1 proved is ASU Maroon is the better respawn team. They were way outslaying North Texas from the start until the end. There was never a moment in there where North Texas really kind of had their momentum. They were getting rotations. At the end of the game, they were kind of slaying even, but they were never slaying better. And so Search and Destroy now, everything is riding on that and hoping to steal away one of either map 3 or map 4. Puts a lot more pressure onto this one now, and I don't know. I'm always going to be questioning them letting this one through, but let's see how it goes as we are already in 3 lives remaining on both teams, as it is going to be Effectini making the plan. ASU Maroon here on attack. Get it over towards the A side, as you said, and there's a big firefight up top. Itachi gets it. That's man advantage, and that's control of the bomb site.
Yeah, it feels like A is going to be their go-to throughout this entire game. Itachi gets up into this top room, and he's in such a big spot. You have to kill him first. You're not able to do it. He's finding 2. Spence is last alive, and it's going to be 3 straight for Itachi there. Yeah, it feels like for ASU Maroon, they're going to keep going to A on offense, and they're going to force North Texas to find some kind of answer. Adjustments are so huge in Search and Destroy. It's going to be North Texas throughout this game, the team making the adjustments.
And I really feel like the GAs have affected Miami more than any other SND map thus far. It was so sniper dependent in this era of the game where snipers were in, and then it became very dependent on your ARs to still hold those similar angles. Things change. Now SMGs kind of get their time to shine. You went from a lot of teams going towards B to a lot of teams going towards A. So this map has been all over the place with how people want to play it. And now, as we just saw, a lot of focus, and we're seeing it again going towards that top A site. Let's see how the defense of ASU managed to hold on.
Yeah, your Krigs almost have to become snipers. Lean into your monitor a little more because some of these angles are just extremely long. Effectini pushing all the way up to the Catamaran here is going to be in a big spot against Vince. He wins that gunfight. Probably going to slow down the push to A for North Texas. Might have to go back to the drawing board here, but a big pick from Dustino to draw the odds to 3.
And that's how you get your SMGs into a map that has so many long lines of sight. You have to get aggressive right off the start, run like your life depends on it to your spot, and then just know when to peek. Effectini does it great there, but ends up getting traded back, so man advantage towards the attacking side of North Texas, as they actually still have bomb on the bottom side of the map. They can go either direction, but as Denpai continues to creep up right now, it looks like they want B. They completely clear out that A side, but in a 3v1, just start to pinch, try to find out this last guy, and Coders has all the world on his shoulders.
Yeah, only thing he's playing off of is that they don't know where he is just yet. Destino playing through mid. This could be a snapper, but instead Destino's shots are good. It's North Texas, really big stuff there. They fall. Effectini draws first blood for ASU Maroon. It feels like everything has come to a halt in terms of this push to A. This is a huge kill from Destino. Cross map to draw things 3v3. They're able to take a deep breath, regain a little bit, and they win the round overall. So those are big plays for North Texas. Composure in that round was at an all-time high.
And I'm really glad that ended up being the play of the round, because you're right, that is the difference maker kill. With the 74U, to get that shot all the way across the map, it is not easy, and you go down there, that completely changes the pace of things. So big shots there out of Dustino. He's on a 3-kill streak to try and actually start thinking about streaks here on this map. He's going to need another big round, but here we go. ASU Maroon mixing things up. They want to make the push over by B, and Dustino's going to be in a lot of pressure right there behind the staircase. The crossfire is ready to go. Effectini, how do you play it? Doesn't even see a man. And Dustino, big shots out from behind. It's 3-0, and North Texas completely take the round in their favor.
And something I know we were highlighting before the match in the green room that we didn't really talk about is the fact that Dustino has a sharp fall off when it comes to search and destroy. He's not been the go-to guy for North Texas, but right now he's turning up. 5-kill streak, and all of a sudden somebody's router got kicked, and we might be having a reset.
Just, you know, it brings me back so much to Black Ops 2 when I see that LAN cable kind of plugging in and out. That is really where I just had a hit of nostalgia of being in like the custom games with all my friends, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, who disconnected? Who was host? They're gone. But when we're looking at that one,
the host, it would like everybody would pause and you'd have a host change.
It's just like oh. But yeah, so that map was actually going in North Texas's favor, so I gotta give it to them. I was doubting them letting Miami through, but it looks like they were handling it pretty well. But it's all off of Dustino right there, managing to jump the corner, gets a big double kill. I kind of hated how Effectini played that, though. He ran onto site and didn't look towards either direction, didn't check his corners, didn't check his blind spots. He just went to the bomb site. How do you not look behind the stairs?
Yeah, he was centered to the corner like he was expecting someone to be there, and then when he finally decided to make his move, he didn't really check it. He had a stun, he had a nade, some trophies maybe playing a part in that, but I mean, just to go back on the point I made, Dustino, 1.5 hardpoint KD, but when it comes to search and destroy, it goes down to a 0.5. So this guy has been struggling in the search and destroys, but right there was off to a 5-1 start. You have to wonder if this stoppage might ice him a little bit, like a coach calling a timeout on a kicker, but either way, if he can keep the momentum like it just was, he's doing a lot for his team right now with that submachine gun.
He was the guy that we talked about pregame. We never really got to the time to bring it up, but we were saying he has to play at least even to give his team a chance. He's the weak link. He has to just not mess up too bad. But all of a sudden, he's slaying better than everyone else. He is coming out very, very hot, and that is the absolute worst case for ASU Maroon, where already Search and Destroy is not your best mode. Yes, Miami is your best map for it, but right now, North Texas have everything they need. If they can close out this map and get it to the checkmate control, they have a good chance. But for now, as we wait for them to get things back together, we're going to hop over to this Charlie matchup. It's map 5. Colorado, you saw, barely managing to survive, and now they are still in a heavyweight bout versus the Navarro Bulldogs. 2-3 here. Map 5, Search and Destroy. The possible upset still in the cards for Relic and Navarro.
Underdogs, the Bulldogs, these guys really are trying to make something happen. Unfortunately, this round not going to work out for them. But for Colorado Black, too, to bring it back to this point was huge. Composure on both ends. Just an unbelievable series going on here on Charlie. checkmate, search, and destroy to finish things off too is always so interesting. It feels like such a gridlocked map. There's not a lot you can do. You're almost bound to see around 11 or at least round 10, those later rounds. So this one definitely has the makings to go the distance. Another just great match that we have taking place here in the CCL playoffs.
If anything, it might have been fate saying, you guys, yes, this SND is good, but we have an even better one happening right now. You got to jump over to. And I got to agree with fate on that one. Tied 3-3 here in map number 5. It's going to be a big one, but I think even this map might be having its own trouble as that host also has issues. So just all over the board, struggling to get through. Or actually, yeah,
a 3-pole or I don't know.
Not sure what's going on with that. Maybe the full DDoS. They don't want us to have playoffs, is what they're saying, Cambird. We're getting attacked and we're fighting through anyway. That's what I'm going to go with. But so much pressure on both of these matchups right now in the search and destroy. Bringing it back, I kind of still want to, even though we have North Texas and ASU Maroon over our heads, I kind of still want to talk about Navarro and Colorado because they are going back and forth, and Navarro takes this one home. That is going to be one of the storylines of playoffs.
Absolutely. Yeah. Another one of those underdogs making a big ripple. Yeah. And I was wondering too, if maybe we should just take a look at the entire bracket to kind of see how things are shaking out. I'm seeing Sinclair picking up a big win, and to me, a team I'm paying attention to. I feel like the fundamentals are there for Sinclair. Really good search and destroy team that's been able to make some big wins throughout the season. So I'm watching them as well. But just so fun to watch the bracket start to shake out. You got some unexpected ones for sure. And that series
really the one
on the Charlie stream is great.
The one that really blew everybody's minds when we were in the just kind of set up caster call last night, going through everything. It came out, Penn State went down to Mac Marauders, breaking everybody's brackets. Yes, right now, the Marauders are not doing the hottest against UTK Orange, but for Penn State to go out a 16-1 team, that all of a sudden opens up the gateways for both Bama Crimson, who would have gone up against them, and now UTK Orange, who are looking like they are gonna be able to get past. So another instance of one of those big teams goes out. All of a sudden, dark horse candidates get so much more likely.
Yeah, Alan almost labeled them as the Loyola Chicago of the tournament. So I don't know if there's some sister gene back there with Mac Marauders who can try to be the good luck charm. Right now, a little unlucky. Some close score lines in the first two. They're down 2-0, like you said, Morgan. So they're going to be trying to bounce back. Everybody loves an underdog story. How could you not? They're one of them that are trying to make it happen. But UTK Orange is a really, really good team as well. They're not looking to let it happen. And it's going to be a great matchup in the next one with Bama Crimson, who take the win over JCSU. Just unbelievable stuff going on up and down the bracket.
Yeah, and just for those that were wondering, we've been talking about this upset. The Bulldogs of Navarro are a 7 seed. Colorado Black is a 2 seed. So that is going to be a real big deal if it ends up going down. For now, though, we're going to try and figure out some of these technical difficulties. So we will send it over to a quick break. But stick around. You never know how fast we're going to get this one back up and running. It's CCL playoffs. We will see you guys again very soon. Around, we finally got one of the lobbies set back up. It is going to be for Colorado Black and Navarro, the Game 5 SND for the 7-2 possible upset. And you know what? I'm okay with that. I wanted to watch more of that map. It was 3-3 when it went away. But before we get over there, Cam, let's look back at how this bracket's going.
Love the look-ins on the brackets. So fun. So it's the interface, just next level, interactive, I should say. There's some interesting stuff going on. We got teams with upsets. We got teams that we were expecting to win. We could probably scroll down a little bit.
So first big upset right there you can see is UTA Blue. But if we can go down to see this Navarro game onto it as we get the beautiful smooth scroll across. It's like near the bottom, I'm pretty sure. Personally, I see Tulsa Esports went down. Hurts my team were not able to do it, but they were able to take a map off of the 1 seed. There we go, right at the bottom, number 31. You see that we are about to jump in there. Colorado Black versus the NC Bulldogs, the number 2 versus the number 7. That is the storyline of the tournament right now. And they're going to be going up against possibly another upset as GVSU Blue is up 1-0 over Illini Blue. Can you believe, Camber, if we get a 7 versus 6 matchup in the round of 32?
That would be nuts. And yeah, I was looking down at that too for that upset to take place. I think Illini Blue, although the B team to the other Illini Orange squad is definitely a team that could make waves throughout the tournament, though. They've been really, really strong throughout the season. So it's weird. It's interesting, I guess I should say, to see that they're down 1-0.
Yeah, so that's going to be another thing to keep an eye out on. No surprise, of course. Ottawa Gold 3-0 over Grossmont. They are probably the overall favorite, but we don't got to think about that right now. This isn't a matchup with 1 seeds. It's a number 2 versus a number 7. And the map is right now tied up 2, or actually, no, it is 2-3 as the Bulldogs look to try and finish off this one. Coming in from the defensive side, Colorado Black trying to find their way inside the plane.
Mr. Apocalypse. Every time you can't help but just be stunned that he's
hurts.
using this site. It does. It hurts my eyes a little bit, but it obviously suits his pretty well. 4v3 right now against the Bulldogs. And they're on defense, though, so they can make something happen here. You still got these players alive in the top of the plane. They haven't given up control there yet. And Apocalypse can't really push up because Relk's waiting for him as well. It's just a matter of time until Colorado Black make their move.
We got it confirmed. It is 3-3. We are tied up. Even playing from here on out, it's essentially a best of 5. Only 20 seconds remaining. You have to make that move, but it's Sabian coming out big with 2 men shut down, and Apocalypse needs to show it how it's done. Boom goes the dynamite. They get cleaned up, and Colorado Black take the 4-3 lead.
And there was an insane timing. Relk was hiding by the truck. As soon as he gets up to move forward, Apocalypse rotates right around from behind him. Sabian found 2 huge kills, but Apocalypse had the better positioning in the back of the plane. He finds that one while the other player is getting the kill onto Relk. And now Colorado goes up 4-3. They do win a big offense right there, a big swing round. Now they get to go back on defense to force it to a closeout. This is a huge spot right now. Navarro, the ones who have to make something happen.
It's a massive test for Navarro as well because you have all that momentum. Going cold like that will always favor the better of the 2 teams, the overdog. But here they go. NC do get the first blood down onto Norte, now trying to push in through the center of the plane as Jugster waits out on the wing. The timing of when he eventually decides the peak is going to be massive. If he doesn't look at all, he might not get a big play when he needs to. But if you find that perfect moment, it can be all or nothing. Here comes the plant. Is going to get off in time as Relic finds the shots down onto Diener. So here we go. Jugster, what can you find? Creeping around the outside. It's nothing. Bulldogs are looking clean right now from the attacking side as Apocalypse tries to go 1v4.
Just the perfect setup right now offensively to get this bomb down. Yeah, perfect stuff. You got Royal in the back line over by the stairs. He's watching both sides of the wings. And at the perfect time, that player challenges on out. He picks up the kill. The bomb plant works out great for Sabian. Relk watches over him to find a kill. Just perfect stuff out of Navarro, using the clock to their advantage. They didn't go right in for that push. They kind of stall things out a little bit. That first blood also was massive. Just perfect stuff. Really textbook stuff offensively for Navarro, and it happens at a big time. They don't let Colorado go to a closeout round. We're still deadlocked here. 4-4 as we switch it up again, and Navarro going to be in a big spot on defense.
That flank from Apocalypse back 2 rounds ago is really standing strong now because if you just trade back and forth, it is going to be Colorado that end up taking this one home. They were so close to winning that initial defensive round, and now they need to find one here going up against Colorado. Jugster going to hold the bomb inside plane. 0 backup so far, just looking for picks as the rest of the attacking side, but you see the call, you see the rotation for Norte starting to move in towards the center, and it seems like things are about to come to a head very, very soon.
Typical positioning for a defense. Everything pretty much held down. That A lane being left open, but Relk, the back line, making sure nobody can hit this flank. Nitro is finding a huge first blood as Norte tries to make something happen on a flank. It's not going to happen. Sabian's in the big spot on top of the table, waiting for these players to push. And with that first life going down, that's actually a huge kill to draw things even onto Relk. Now all of a sudden it's a 3v3.
Got to get off of it. Sabian goes down. Diener, what a play. Finds the first one on the backside. Then with the Semtex. Could have gotten the third one in on the doorway, but isn't there quite in time as Royal can't find himself. Gets pinched up in the center. And another one, Colorado Black managed to survive on that attacking side when it seemed like the Bulldogs had it. It's all off of Diener making some big plays.
And Apocalypse here on the back end. I don't know how he's doing this with this site. He's just so used to it, I guess. But yeah, they get the 2v1. They do it perfectly. They both challenge at the same time. They pick up the kill. And after you get that life advantage for Navarro, that's when you're going to look back on and just really be kicking yourself because it's a defense. You're up 4-3, and you still somehow let Colorado sneak that one out. They had a pretty perfect setup last time around on offense. They're going to have to do it again here if they want to force round 11.
Have to play clean, have to really keep your momentum going from these attacking sides. It looked great the last time through, but so much pressure now as Colorado make their way up to map game playoff point for themselves. D-Nerf just holding in behind the corner, waiting to see who decides to peek it as Relic moves into support Sabian. Everything went down on the flanks for Colorado whenever they play this attacking side, but for the Bulldogs, it was right down center. They'd made their big plays inside the plane, getting control by the bomb site. Relic was the one to open it up. Now he is looking for even the slightest pixel onto Jugster. Not going to happen, and just a whole lot of shoulders getting thrown back and forth.
Yep, now it's almost a reverse of last round where the offense is in a 3v4. They need to try to find a pick to stabilize things a little bit here, and Apocalypse has been so huge. 5-1 since the restart. He's on 3 in a row. Holding down on the long lanes. Royals just waiting for somebody to overpeak. They're not going to do it, though. Sabian falls as well. Norte with a big kill. Now Relk challenging out. He has 2 players in front of him. They could be trying to challenge back and pick up this kill. Down to him and Royal. Time winding down. Have to make the play soon. Norte finds another one. It's all up to Relk on a 1v4. 20 seconds left. He's been spotted out. Colorado Black are going to win it. Unbelievable. 2 straight rounds to close things out after the reset. And the underdog Cinderella story was just too good to be true, Morgan.
It's a big GG to both sides, but a heartbreaking couple of rounds. It felt like Navarro could have won both of those defensive ones and just had control of everything, but they slip away. I cannot give enough credit to D-Nerf getting a kill on the backside, the man watching for flanks that opened up that route for Apocalypse to come through. Just a 1v1 firefight that basically decided the 9th round. Hard to do the round math when you don't have it all on top, but big plays out of him, and that is why they're the number 2 seed. Colorado, we're down 2-1. They hold it on. They put together 2 more maps, and they're moving on in the winner's bracket.
And sometimes, I mean, every time the COD timing has to favor one team or the other. And for Colorado, it comes up huge there. Apocalypse on a couple of those plays, just getting the perfect timing on when he decides to make his move. Ends up getting in behind enemy lines, and he has 5 huge kills in those last 3 rounds. So really a lot of credit to Apocalypse as well with that crazy sight. I don't know how he's able to do it, but he surely is. And that's huge stuff for Colorado because you didn't want to be losing that early into the bracket, especially when you're a 2 seed.
Think it's going to be going mainstream? Everyone's going to be rocking the big rectangle, the box on top of the gun.
The APOC site?
Just, usual things. I can't see anything when he is on the screen. So There's always something to be said about just personal feel. You see it with the people that bring out the bullfrogs and go crazy. The people that put sniper scopes on Krig 6s and just wipe through a team on search and destroy. If you're used to it, if that's what you practice, anybody can be good with anything, even if it's not quote unquote meta. Apocalypse is showing that right now. I'm going to be very curious at how he performs once you go against some of those top tier talents. But there we go. The 2 seed manages to make it through. I'm not going to count Navarro out yet, though, going through that loser's bracket.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure, but I want to say Colorado won both of those search and destroys. So that's huge stuff in and of itself. Obviously, search and destroys win championships. And when you get to those game 5s, it comes down to who's more composed, who can make the clutch plays happen. It was them doing it, I'm sure. For Navarro, they'll go back and watch that VOD, and they'll be kicking themselves on so many different occasions because
they're going to look at
control.
They're going to look at every single rotation on map 4 where they went 1 second earlier than they needed to. When it came down to 250 to 249, that's the type of thing that hindsight is 2020, but it opens your eyes to we could have taken 2 more seconds off this hill and won that game. So a lot to look at, a lot to learn from. We finally got the lobby back open for this game. It is being populated with players. We will be jumping back into a 1-to-1 round count in this search and destroy, where North Texas nearly had that 3rd round for themselves. Now they got to do it again.
Yeah, and when you look at the stoppage on which team it's favoring, I think it's Maroon, because it felt like for North Texas, momentum was starting to build. You had Destino, your 0.5 overall search and destroy KD player at the top of the leaderboard. He's standing out. He's hitting cross-map kills with his AK-74U. Now all of a sudden you get a stoppage. The host disconnects. Kind of have to sit there a little bit longer. Maybe you get a chance to shake up another G Fuel, but For Dustino, you just got to hope that he didn't get iced out too much, that he can continue the way he was with the red hot play with the submachine gun. Because for North Texas, they were looking pretty good to start things off.
Maroon absolutely saved by the bell in round number 3, because now you know Effectini's checking that corner. He's looking underneath the stairs. He's not just going to rush right through. So that play that ended up giving Dustino a double kill to kick off that round completely was giving North Texas the momentum. It will not happen again. He's not going to be able to get that first kill so free again. That makes it harder for him to get hot. It makes it easier for ASU Maroon to get their momentum. A massive difference off of that reconnect, which means North Texas, they need to regain. They need to, right out the start, win this first round. If they don't, I think it falls apart very quickly.
Yeah, I agree. And it's almost that you could look at it in some ways where North Texas was going to win that round. Now all of a sudden you kind of almost have to win 7 rounds to win the search and destroy. So you're right. You're definitely going to have to regain. You're going to just be carrying that momentum. You're going to be looking to carry that momentum that you had in the first set. As we reset it again here, it's going to be Miami search and destroy. For Maroon, this was your go-to map. You were 6-1 on this. This was your pick. So for North Texas, if they could pull out this map, that's going to be really, really good for the series going forward. And it obviously would even things up going into the checkmate control. So massive implications on this one.
Does kind of feel like a must-win for both squads right now. ASU Maroon, it's almost pride more than anything. You're 6-1 on Miami. You don't want to let people know all of a sudden that maybe you weren't as strong on this as you thought. For North Texas, it has reached that point. You said SNDs win championships. It is true for them because they had a very close hard point where they were not the better shooting team. They were getting outslayed constantly. If you can steal one away with that style of hardpoint play, and then you win both searches, you are going to be able to take that one home. That's a lot looking forward, but it has to start right here, right now. So it sounds like the lobby does crash. The ultimate, you thought you were getting in? Gotcha. Not quite. But as we try and figure this one out, it is a must win for both of these teams.
Such a tease. And I'm wondering about the play of the day, too. We probably have that set up maybe
I'm excited
later on because
I get to do the post game today. Yeah. After everything, that post show, look at the plays of the game overall, and I'll be able to see a lot of ones that I hadn't seen up until this point. It's a whole new business once College COD makes it into the playoffs. All sorts of new technology, new run of show. Shift takes this pretty seriously, if you didn't know.
And a lot of credit has to go to the people behind the scenes, right? This is all volunteer stuff. It's not like they're getting paid for this. So it's just incredible stuff. It's so great for us as casters to have all this different stuff to go to and to use and to play around with. The production value definitely, as the website says, rivals that of the pro leagues. You really can't deny that fact. I mean, sure, you got the CDL, it's the top of the notch, but the CCL making a name for itself without a doubt, and especially here in the playoffs. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to give the shout out, you got to call out our producers of the night. We got Benji doing the Alpha. We got Fetty doing the Charlie. And then over on the other side, we got Sport and Switchy with their own streams. We need 4 producers or 4 observers just to put this all together. Pretty awesome, as well as everyone putting together the staff side, all the mods. It becomes too many people to shout out every single one, but it's a whole business over here and an amazing experience. I hope some of you guys, this is your first time, you're like, what is College COD? And you're just like, boom, it's something to watch out for.
Yeah, and I was saying earlier in the green room behind the scenes, it's like, man, if I was in high school and I was coming up and there was a thing called College COD where I could go and potentially get a scholarship and go to I would have been grinding for it. Absolutely all the time grinding for it. It would have been all I wanted to do. So the fact that this is continuing to grow exponentially and that it's only getting better, I think is just such a great sign for esports in general. I mean, it's creating an avenue for players to get noticed, to get towards challengers. You got a lot of challengers players playing in the CCL. So if you are new to it, hopefully you're realizing that this is a big thing and it's here to stay. And if you're in high school, like, I would be trying to play for a College COD team, no doubt.
Yeah, come and get cracked. More and more teams are putting out scholarships, which is just kind of changing the world of College COD. Obviously, everyone's looking at Ottawa, who they put their money down, and it pays off. They got the top 2 teams, but we do got the lobby starting to get going yet again. This is one of my favorite games to play ever since I started casting. What do you think? Is it going to work this time through? Put your money down, everyone. Chime in. This could be the next big prediction on Twitch for any esport channel. Is the lobby going to hold strong?
Oh gosh. I mean, not to be cliche, I guess you got to go back on third time's a charm. I mean, hopefully it's going to be round 3 to start, so there's a lot of threes here. That seems to be pretty lucky, Morgan. I'm banking on yes. I mean, my fingers are crossed. I'm hoping that it works. I
think it's going good. We're pretty sure and this is just pure speculation at this point, but just because both games disconnected at the same time, my head was like, all right, Get Good had some issues. They went down, but it's obviously back up. We watched the end of that other matchup, so now it's just trying to get this one done. Try and get a little bit more serious, though. Bring it back in. Focus up, Cambert. We've talked enough about this SND. The one thing we haven't really mentioned, and I think might be the linchpin of this entire game, checkmate control. Maroon, on average, winning their controls by 2 maps. They are very solid. Is that going to be the respawn North Texas look to take back, or are they just hoping to survive map 4?
It's going to be interesting when we get there, and I think the results of map 2 make it so much more interesting to talk about. Absolutely, though, we're going to have to play it. It's a swing mode. If North Texas is to fall behind 2-0, obviously they'll really, really need it. It's going to be checkmate where they're 4-2, so it doesn't seem like it's out of the realm of possibility, but it's so important to get momentum going into that next map as well. Like, you obviously can take that from map to map, so that's going to be huge for sure. But ASU Maroon have been 12-2 so far in the season. They're definitely a control team without a doubt, so yeah, it really feels like for North Texas, it's even more of a must-win in the Search and Destroy. You're probably going to have to win 2 Search and Destroys to win this series in my eyes. So you got to start it here with a big one on Miami.
Oh, they absolutely need to. I don't think there is any reality where they win both the checkmate and both the checkmate control and the Moscow hardpoint. I think it is going to be the 2 searches. It just comes down to which respawn mode do they put all the marbles in on, try and steal that away. And I mean, this is just being the most optimistic from a caster sense, that always wanting to get to map number 5. I want to see more Express. It's new into the pool. Always love to see more of that, but there's still a very good chance ASU Maroon just clean sweep this. It's one of those games where if every single map feels like a coin flip, it's equally likely that they just come through, they win 3 close ones, and they're out of this feeling good for themselves.
Yeah, and it's weird to say, but I mean, and maybe it's obvious, but if ASU lose this map 2, I think that lessens their chances in map 3 for North Texas to carry some momentum in. But if they win this map 2, I think that only increases their chances to win map 3. So it's really either going to be a sweep for ASU Maroon or it's going to be North Texas forcing this one the distance. One of the two things is going to happen. I don't see North Texas losing the Search and Destroy and then winning the control. I think it's going to whoever wins this next map is going to win the control. So momentum really going to play a big factor into this one because these teams are so evenly matched. But Morgan, my fingers are still crossed underneath the desk. We're loading back in. Hopefully this one goes the distance. And
Don't mention it. Don't mention it. We'll just it'll suddenly pop up on screen and it'll work. Yeah, this is the first. This is all of a sudden it's the first time we've ever loaded up COD. It's gonna work. It's perfectly good. It's like if you call attention to it, it doesn't work. But if it just appears on screen, then that's just the magic going to work, baby. So trying to load in now. 1-1 on the SND, reminding everyone what the status of this game is sitting at, and everything could be on the line. It's going to be ASU Maroon coming in from the attacking side. Last time, they went towards B on this same round. I wonder if that's where it's going to go. They managed to do good. They pushed in on attack towards A and managed to get round number 1. Here we go. And it seems like they did try and go that way, but Effectini with the bomb went down over to Denpai. And so North Texas get an early 4v3 with bomb down on the top side of the map.
Such an important spot to be in defensively in the top of Visitor Center with that Craig Denpai. It's a huge first blood, and you're seeing exactly why. It really slows things down for the offense. Jerem finding a big one, though, to even the odds of it. He might have heard Zestino falling down there. He's got him in his sights. The shot's coming through. Neither player able to grab the kill. And again, it's a 3v3, but neither site has really been committed to right now for the offense. Got to make a decision here.
Here we go, Jerem on the backside, looking to find someone. Those Craig 6s really dominate the middle section of this map. They lock down and keep any of those SMGs from pushing too far forward. 20 seconds remaining, though. It is very difficult to find your way onto these sites if you don't get that initial push to wherever you want. Now trying to rotate across. They can all be down onto Tostino, but he doesn't catch the pixel. Stays alive. Every shot missed him. I don't think he lost a single HP. And now you know that you are in a pinch. Have to plant right here, right now. ASU Maroon, they are going going all in over here, and they don't even get it down in time. They were too distracted by Destino. They just had to commit. North Texas managed to find it and go up 2-1 on the overall round count.
I mean, I was saying at the start of the round how important that first blood can be defensively from Denpai. Obviously, it's enough to completely win the round altogether. How rarely do you see 3v3 on each side and the bomb doesn't even come close to getting... Well, I guess I should say it did come close, but the bomb doesn't get planted. That was insane stuff. As we switch it back over, North Texas, they've had success today. We'll see what they do.
Just kind of felt like both teams weren't quite ready coming back into those rounds. Like North Texas, Destino completely missed ASU Maroon running past them, and then they traced an outline on him with those shots. So I wonder if now they've kind of the nerves have calmed back down. You are back into game mode, and it's going to be a B-side hit. The first time we've seen North Texas head over in this direction. A momentary 3v2 as you Trippy Gus kind of making some noise, but Itachi with the first shot down on Dispense. That opens things up over by this B bomb site. It's going to be difficult for Denpai. That's the work an SMG can do here from the defensive side.
He's been extremely confident in these close quarter situations. That's 2 huge kills from Itachi to gain control of the power positions. It's enough for his team to win the round. Ultimately, goes to 1-1, but after the reset, it's going to be 3-2. North Texas still with the advantage, so still a lot to be played here, but Itachi, as you see in the kill cam, was massive in this round. Confidently pushing into top piano, finding these kills. Must have heard Denpai with some footsteps or something there. Just a confident challenge. And it's big stuff there to start to draw things back towards even for ASU Maroon.
Yeah, 2-2 right now. You can easily remember it. We're just playing to 1st to 5 instead of 1st to 6. That's the spot we're trying to aim for these two squads. And looking at North Texas's side, you're kind of seeing the result of how that weird first round went. Their KDs are not looking great since the restart, but they're still in it because they managed to win a round with 3 people left up on both sides. The way they shut down this A-side push last time was off of Denpai getting this first blood onto Effectini. They're going to have to challenge it again, and the shots do not ring through in time. He gets through. Germ gets the shots onto Trippy Gus, and this feels like it's going to be a much different play out than how the first round after the reset happened.
He could have number 8 making big plays. Destino going to find that first one. They still haven't gained control of the visitor center, so the defense could absolutely still win this round, but that good nade onto Denpai makes things even more difficult. Number 6 has to find a kill. He does. Now it becomes a 2v2. You kind of have a little bit of a pinch getting set up, but you got to focus on Coders over here at the Catamaran. That's such a big kill to get because he has the bomb checks. Teammate and Spence falls, makes things even more difficult on Destino here.
Destino manages to stay alive, but he is low on HP, and Coders knows it. Re-challenges, and ASU Maroon with 2 straight take control. If you trade out rounds from here on out, they are going to be the ones on top. That's a difficult place for North Texas to be at, and you can really feel the shift in momentum. They had a good defensive round the first time, but these last 2, the shots haven't quite been landing. The kills aren't really there, and ASU Maroon are heating up fast. Itachi already at 3-0.
And you saw the adjustment from Denpai. There was a little bit more of a presence pushing A that time. He kind of backed down and allowed them to get the plant. Probably came back to cost North Texas in that one because ASU Maroon take advantage of those positions. Now we flip sides again. It's going to be a push to A for North Texas this time.
Around the backside, Denpai going to push forward with Trippy Gus already. Destino falls, as we've seen this already. Effectini loves to get aggressive from the defensive side with this SMG. It is so difficult to be ready for that. Great shots by Denpai, though, to trade it. Trippy Gus went hunting for Effectini, didn't find him, ends up getting hunted himself, and all of a sudden we were left in the 3v2. Bomb still in hand for North Texas. That's pretty big, because if it goes down deep onto the beach, it is very difficult to pick that back up. Effectini sprays out the rest of his mag, but North Texas split completely north to south on the map.
Love the way Effectini's playing here. Over by A lot of different cutoffs you can use and so many corners to be sitting in. It forces North Texas to constantly thinking about, is there a player sitting in this corner that I'm about to run by? Spence could get a huge nade here. It's not going to connect. Effectini just still hanging out. Player by the Catamaran thinking about making his push now as they try to close in on this site. Spence has let his position be known, and ASU Maroon is picking up on it. They win 3 straight coming back, all of a sudden starting to separate themselves from North Texas. And it's a lot has to do with Denpai, though, that at least the chance to have something going in this round. He must have his graphics settings cranked because I don't even see Jerem on my screen there.
Yeah, brightness all the way up, because that is barely pixels dark on dark all the way into the distance. That's something that doesn't get talked about as much here on Miami, but the lighting does make a big difference over there on the beach side. There is very little actually giving light to the map over there. These characters, a lot of the skins guys come in with are on the darker side. They are not like bright neon Fortnite type skins, so you have to really have your graphics where you want them. Your eyes got to be ready to go as Itachi getting aggressive here around the backside, sees Trippy Gus and puts him down. That is a big kill to kick things off. He is at a 5 kill streak, hasn't died since the reset, and is in that same level of play that he was going in map 1.
Yeah, he's starting to feel himself a little bit, thinking about taking on the challenge as he picks up the Krig. Wow, that was a ridiculous first kill, too, to open things up for his team. Bomb's going to go down here. North Texas hasn't been able to make these adjustments. It's been ASU Maroon pushing A all game long. They're doing it again. Now 3v2, all up to Spence in a 1v3. He already shot his gun, so they know where he's at. They're already starting to focus in on this position. Not going to be easy.
It's a feels bad man moment at this point for North Texas. I mean, they had it all going for them to tie this map back up, but they have just not found any luck in these last few rounds. 1 bullet away from getting the kill, and he just has to reload. Now it becomes 5-2 on the overall round differential, and it's map point going for ASU Maroon. They pick this one up. They go up 2-0 on the map count. Look to find that clean sweep. You have to get your footing back now.
Yeah, it feels like the wind is kind of out of the sails for North Texas. They probably would tell you that they don't like the reset that had to take place, but that's Call of Duty for you. It happens all the time. Talk about composure. How is it when you get iced a little bit and you have to reset the game right now for ASU Maroon? It is totally paying off. Now you can see on the top here, we're 1 round away for ASU winning this one and going up 2-0 in the series. North Texas back against the wall. What's the move here? They go away from A. Now they're going to go back to B.
I mean, if it's not working, try something new. If it is broke, try to fix it. It's a full 4v2 over here. As Effectini, he's probably made that call now that running all the way in back towards spawn has seen nobody. ASU Maroon should be expecting it here through garage. So North Texas, you got to make your play here sooner rather than later. Trippy Gus getting in the firefight. Both sides spraying heavy, but it's a 2-for-1 in favor of ASU Maroon. It might all come falling apart as Effectini's on the flank. Denpai is ready for it, and we're left in the 2v2. Not done quite yet. North Texas try to fight to stay alive with only 35 seconds remaining, though the commit has happened over here by B, and it's a difficult angle to try and get through and get this kill on Decoders.
And although the time's starting to dwindle away, he probably could have thought about wrapping it away instead. They're just going to push right into the gunfire. Coders is waiting for them. He finds the first teammate there for the second. And I was just getting ready to say, as the game ends, ASU Maroon win it. If Effectini, if they came back, if North Texas came back, this play right here, yeah, he gets this 1 kill, but falling on the second one, he was a little over-aggressive. He might have been looking back on that one. Not too fondly, but don't have to think about that. ASU Maroon win it. Great stuff out of them. They do get the reset. You have to wonder a little bit for North Texas that the momentum was just taken right out of their sails. Either way, ASU Maroon go up 2-0 now. Back against the wall for North Texas. Have to win this next one if they want to see the series continue.
Effectini and Itachi both making MVP cases for themselves. Itachi coming out hot, goes 5-0 after the reset. ASU Maroon just really playing through him all day. And you just saw the way Effectini plays that Miami SND. I think that is why they're so good. That is why they are now 7-1 on that map and mode. He goes so fast from the defensive side. Just full sprint forward to get past North Texas and then put them into pinches. On that final round, he rotated all the way back through their spawns. That's the type of thing that once it's in the back of your head, it messes up with your timings from the attacking side. You're checking every single corner, ones you don't usually have to look at. And I think that really comes through big to get into your opponent's head. So Effectini and Itachi, they are dominating this first 2 maps. They are the ones driving their team towards victory. And I don't know who on North Texas is going to be able to meet them.
Yeah, if we were giving out player traits, we'd probably be calling Effectini the route runner there on Miami because the dude was just picking them all so perfectly, picking his avenues well. And anytime that's happening when you're the opponent, you have to constantly be thinking about where is Effectini right now? We still haven't picked up that kill. He's probably somewhere behind us. Now we all have to turn our heads, and it creates so much of a distraction. So really, not only the fact that he's picking up kills, but just being that nuisance player creates a lot for North Texas to think about. And now the thoughts probably don't end just yet. I'm sure their heads are full of them as they go to a closeout control back against the wall. have to win it to extend the series. And for ASU Maroon, it's a good spot to be in because they've been so successful in control all season long. They're 12-2 in the mode.
We saw it in the stats earlier. They were on average winning the control by 2 rounds. It's not just trading defense back and forth. They are finding these attacking side victories. They are making sure that they get every single defensive side victory. And I think Checkmate is probably the perfect map to play into that. You know what you need to do. You know where the big moments are on defense. You push forward, you try and get that spawn trap, you lock it down. And from the attacking side, there are a lot of different ways to go, but mostly you hit towards A and then you move towards B. You just get good kills across the map and you'll be able to win these rounds. This is probably exactly where they wanted to be at this point, and the worst possible case for North Texas.
Yeah, this is exactly where they want to be. You're right. And you have to expect Effectini and Itachi to be playing in the top of the plane the whole time. They're going to be trying to get that power position. So if you're North Texas, probably need to put at least 2, maybe even 3 bodies to focus up towards the top of the plane, because that position is so crucial, so pivotal. You can go to any different site, to any different location on the map from top plane. You can also see the entire map. So whichever team's controlling that is really going to be in a good position. And I think it's going to be ASU Maroon who probably have the upper hand there. For North Texas, how do you answer back to it? How can you shut down Effectini and Itachi, who have been so hot, like you said, throughout the series?
Yeah, it's my favorite cruising spasm on Checkmate control. Top plane control. It all goes through top plane control. That is where the map is decided, because you can get eyes over towards the top side of A. At any moment, you can drop down underneath the plane onto B. It's where everything just branches out from on Checkmate. And no matter what mode it is, top plane is where it's at. And I'm really feeling like that is where the SMGs of ASU Maroon, they're going to go wild.
Yeah. No doubt about it. For North Texas, like I say, you got to put 2 players up there, probably your SMGs, but you might even need 3 at times to make sure you're winning those trades. And once you get control of it, you can't let it go. Outside of that, it really just feels like this is ASU Maroon's map to lose. Like, they have been so good in this series so far. All the momentum after that. Miami, we get the reset, and then they just take it in 5-1 straight rounds. So they have all the momentum going into this one. For North Texas, though, you're just banking on the fact that it's desperation time. You're doing anything possible to keep yourselves in it.
And interesting, out of North Texas, they go immediately for that top plane control. A lot of people make that initial run towards A, but it seems like B is going to be where things kick off. But look at Effectini. You called him the route runner. He has gone all the way behind. He could get the assassination on Dispense if he wanted to. No suggestion on North Texas's side that there might be a guy, and big kills coming through. One tab of control did sneak through onto B, so it wasn't all for naught on North Texas's side, but Effectini and Germ really shut down that initial push.
It was good map awareness because they know they have to kill Destino here in the top of the plane, but he's going berserk. 3 straight, make it 4 with the headshot wall bang. Massive stuff. We talk about controlling the top of the plane. It's Destino doing it right now for his team. How do they play off of it, though? How do you take advantage of it? Effectini's going to take advantage of the flank. He's going to kill him finally. And he's getting more off spawn. This is huge right there for ASU Maroon, but it's still pretty deadlocked right now. You got the first tick of B. You probably want to think about going over towards A.
Yeah, it looked like they wanted to make another attempt at B, but both members on plane went down, so now Destino says, all right, we will do what it is expected of us. Back into the corner, this is the power position. This is where you need your guy to start fragging out. Itachi goes down on the backside, so the D&D combination of Destino and Denpai doing very solid right now. It's all Destino so far for North Texas, but they're off to a relatively good start. They get the 2 tabs of control. Problem is, timer starts to be an issue.
Yeah, they're going to go for B here. They've committed to it. Oh, my God. Coder says snap-a-roosty. Destino now trying to find some trades to push on out, but there's so much map control. Coder's still forcing him in back there near P2. Not much room for North Texas to make a play happen, but if you can get these kills, you can push on over to A. There's an opening there. A couple players trying to get on it. A great nade from Itachi to at least slow it for a second, but they're flooding on through. Got to find these kills. Germ able to get 2. Can he get the 3rd to completely put a cap on this round? He can. 2 headshots. Ridiculous stuff from Germ. And that's pretty much going to put the icing on the cake.
How about 1 more? Why not make it 2 more? Germ just continues to add to the big play. It's a 3v1 on the A site. It feels like we are going to get an extra minute on the clock. And let's line them up. 1, 2, how about 3? Gets 2 more right after. Germ putting an exclamation point on the round.
And it's more map awareness, knowing that the big opportunity for North Texas, the way the spawns are being influenced, they're going to be headed to A. So what does he do? He heads right over, and he makes a big play happen. He finds 3 kills to close out the round. Maroon, yeah, I think that was a pretty commanding win on defense. Probably could have been even more so, but you're still going to pick it up. Now you got to go on offense, and if they could win this one, it'd really be putting North Texas even further back against that wall.
And Dustino, it's got to feel bad. You are trying to drag your team through this game, but there's just no answer. I mean, coming right off the bat and getting the shots down onto Itachi, Effectini falling as well. This is what you need if you are North Texas. Shut down those dynamic players of ASU Maroon, and a much better start to the defensive side thus far.
Yeah, we talked about controlling the top of the plane. Destino's been doing that all game. It's just a matter of his teammates taking advantage of that power position, and he's again getting in behind, continuing to force the emphasis. Coders, that would have been a crazy kill if he could have gotten it, but his teammates finding him as well. Life advantage now, map control now. This is a good spot for North Texas. Time to just hold on to it.
Here we go, trying to push around the corner. Denpai waiting for it because kill at the top onto Itachi does end up happening. We switch over to Spence, which made the record scratch inside my brain for a second, but here we go. Coders gets a big 2-piece for himself as ASU Maroon try to actually push in through the plane, see if they can take control of the middle of the map and then work it outwards. Spence still locking down here on the A site, and as we hit 20 seconds remaining, there's just been nothing opening up so far for the attacking side.
Such a great start here on defense for North Texas. Just not allowing any progress at either site. Finally, the push is going to have to come to A. You got Destino holding down the cross. Big information for his teammates. Spence is already here waiting for it. Shots are going to come through. There's 2 there. Can he get the trades? Trippy finds 1. This player's so hurt. And Effectini, a great nade. We'll clean it on off. And that's probably good enough to end the round. One last contest comes through. Spence is able to find the kill. Uh-oh, they're over here at B. Destino not going to win this challenge, so Itachi trying to keep this round alive.
You know, there's still 0.7 seconds on the clock. You can't put it out right now. And Effectini getting that kill on the top side means now they have A again to start building some control. They didn't actually get a tab of control on either side, but they're staying alive. There it is. Okay, with 1 quick kill, it ends. But ASU just kind of hung around there for much longer than I really expected them to.
Yeah, and a lot of credit to North Texas. It was a great round, doing a really good job of ping-ponging defensively from site to site. ASU was trying to mix it up after they were coming off spawns, but you really had a well-spread effort for defense all across the map, making sure you cover all your grounds. And they don't let them get any progress at either site, so that's just a really great showing from both sides defensively. We always talk about it. Whichever team can win an offense is going to put themselves in a good spot. Neither team able to do it just yet. And I'm trying to think of which team had a better showing in terms of lives defensively. I think it was North Texas. They're winning the battle right now.
Yeah, North Texas did very well for themselves, and you're starting to see their KDs wake up. Denpai was like 2-8 at one point, has now started to heat. Coders does get a good spray right down the middle of the plane to start things off, and that opens things up for Itachi. But overall, it's just even back and forth trades between both sides. What North Texas has to worry about is getting slowly pushed back towards their spawn. Now they get away from that point a little bit and continue to attempt to make these plays over on the B site first.
Trippy's trying to regain the top control. Itachi might be hurt. The shaky shots are good, though. But there's a moment where you probably need to play your life instead. Coders is going to clean that kill on up, so still top mid up for grabs. It's going to be ASU retaking it. I don't know about the decision to keep running over towards B. It feels like you have to get something at least going at A. Finally, Denpai going to push up onto the point. This is the position to be in. How about his teammates coming off spawn to show some support?
Nobody's been able to cap a single control point at this part, but North Texas did very well the last time. They got a lot of control by A and a couple tabs on B, with just one massive play out of Germ that shut them down. So they've been looking better on the control. It's just getting over the hump, being able to win one of these attacking sides that really puts it in your favor. And a heartbreaker there where they were about a second away from tabbing up control on A. Instead, it all goes back, and they're basically starting from nothing as Effectini tries to make a play over by their spawns.
It's going to go back to square one. They get this secret, this blue spawn where they're forced to try to funnel on out. 1 kill goes to Itachi. Germ gets another. You got to get onto one of these points to at least try to extend the round. A would be the one you probably think about, but instead they're going to have to they're forced to get onto B. The players are there waiting for them. They're picking up all the kills. This looks like another defensive win. Denpai throws in 2 kills, but it's not going to matter in the end as he finally falls. Another great showing from ASU Maroon. And I feel like if I was to make a criticism for North Texas, it feels like most times you want to be trying to get A off the rip, although it's not easy. It just seems to me like if you're going to start around, you probably want to be trying to go to A.
I don't hate the B start, but just as an initial play, just get
Right.
1-2 tabs of control on B, because you never know. You might have everyone is on point, they get their kills, and you nearly cap up the whole thing. But after that goes for what's guaranteed, because best case scenario is you finish up full control on A, and B is already partly finished. That you would love to be able to find that for yourself. Dual stream, though, as we go over the Charlie match, Ottawa Gold going to try and close things out, and it is looking good. The raid hardpoint about to get finished up, and would you expect any less as they manage to take this one over Butler? But over on the North Texas side, again, they need this round. They have to find it to stay alive in this matchup versus ASU Maroon. And after a very solid defensive round the first time through, ASU come out hot here on the attack.
See, this is the ideal start to a round and checkmate control. Get some players over at A, get a stack together. Somebody has to make a big play to try to clean him off the point. Destino says I'll be the one to do it, finding 2 kills, but there's still one more you got to focus on. That's number 5 in Itachi. He's finding that last kill. Still has to fight for this progression as there's nobody there to stack it with him, but he continues to get these kills, so it should be good for his teammates to come off spawn.
Itachi needs to find one more, though. That would really shut things down, and gets just that onto Destino. Things start to worry as our first site getting capped up finally happens. ASU Maroon get there. North Texas will be able to stay on the defensive side if they can win this round. They dominated that one round for themselves, but Itachi is here. He is the Hornet in the car, just messing everybody up, has a cruise missile to go with it, and worst case scenario becomes true for North Texas. Full streaks going up against as they try to escape their own spawns, and I think that might be the moment that starts to shut things down. Yes, indeed, they cannot get back to contest, and in an explosive attacking round, it's Maroon that closes the game out.
All comes back to this hot start, and it's Itachi who pretty much captures A all by himself. Able to get the overkill set up. He continues to find him, switches to the Craig, finds another, finds a third. Really captures it all by himself. So huge plays out of Itachi at the start of that round. He's able to build up the streaks, and that's good to close things out over at B. And I mean, it felt like for North Texas, they had to win that search and destroy. All of a sudden, it goes to that checkmate, and it seems like ASU Maroon has just flipped the switch. They close it out there. They win that final offense. Great showing for North Texas. They're going to go down to the losers bracket. For ASU Maroon, talked about it. They were trying to prove a point in this one. I think they did a pretty good job at that.
Yeah, it looked really good. There were some shaky moments, though, and there's still part of me in my head that's like, the what if? What if the reset doesn't happen on the SND?
Yeah.
What if North Texas are able to pick that one up, get it to another hard point? You never know. And so I think North Texas are a very good squad. They are going to continue fighting through that loser's bracket. I don't think there's any chance they go 0-2 to kick this tournament off, but they're probably kicking themselves a little bit, really feel like they could have performed better there. And just a big shout out over there to Maroon to come out so big.
Yeah, I'm sure if you asked North Texas, they'd tell you that they don't like the reset, but it absolutely happens. It's nothing that anybody can really control. It just happens in Call of Duty all the time. It's a matter of being able to answer back to it and having the composure. ASU Maroon, they take advantage of it too. It's not like they just throw it to the wolves and it doesn't end up playing a role. It plays a major role. They take advantage of the reset. They come back even stronger. And they win that search and destroy. They carry it right into the control. Big stuff. And a lot of it has to go to Itachi. It felt like probably the MVP of the series in my mind. Just holding down power positions in the opening hard point, making big plays in the search and destroy again. And then they're in the control, pretty much single-handedly winning that final round on offense.
I'll second you on that. But let's see how the bracket now shakes out. We have one more result to get thrown in, and it's going to be the moving on of ASU Maroon. So looking good there as they try and push forward. It is actually Illini Orange that took down the Hawkeyes. They're playing Texas State over on Bravo. Shout out to our sister stream as we slowly creep down. Trying to see, there's the Colorado Black. That's what I wanted to see. Illini Blue all the way to a map number 5 against GVSU Blue. It's those 3 versus 6 matchups. You're never expecting to go that deep. You never know where that amazing game is going to pop out from. But GVSU looking to shock some people and upset some brackets down there in the 32 game.
That second hard point went 250, 239. They were able to pull it out. That's incredible. That must be such a great series going on. You're absolutely right. Upset alert, without a doubt. GVSU trying to make it happen. And I said it earlier, Illini Blue, where I felt like a pretty strong team coming into this tournament. They were trying to make some waves and make a big statement again as being the B team, trying to show up for the fact that there's not just one team in Illinois, there's two. But right now, they're going down the wire, and all of a sudden, it's getting pretty chippy in that series.
Yeah, Illini Orange holding on to Texas State, and seeing them go up against Ottawa Black, who I am just assuming at this point will knock down the Wildcats. That'll be a great matchup. But as we continue forward, there it is, ASU Maroon versus North Texas, and they get to take on the USD Coyotes. We haven't mentioned that again since the pregame, but at USD, they get a free first-round bye off of Purdue Gold not competing. The 8 seed now moving forward, and that is great for whoever ended up winning between North Texas and Maroon. Now ASU just need to not slip up. They need to perform at the level that's been expected of them to this point, and they might be able to go on towards the round of 16, where initially you wouldn't really expect the 4-5 seed to get there.
Yeah, it's a huge chance. Really have to be licking your chops at that when you see that you're going up against an 8 seed. Again, USD Coyotes, they're no team to scoff at by any means. They could make a big win there as well. I really think that's also going to be a great series, but for ASU Maroon, it feels pretty good to get a 3-0 off your chest, especially in round 1 against a tough North Texas team. I think a lot of positives to take away from this one. Still some stuff to clean up for sure, though. That first hard point was pretty close, so I'm sure they'll go back to the drawing board, watch some VODs, and come back even stronger in the next round for what will make to be a great matchup against South Dakota.
Yeah, and so you saw there in the middle of that matchup that a map just ended on the Charlie stream between Ottawa and Butler. So we are going to just take this moment now between games to send it to a break. But right before, we got a little bit of something to talk about. First and foremost, you guys, you like merch? How about you bring your online passion IRL? The CCL has the armory all loaded up and ready to cover you from head to toe in that gorgeous black and silver. Whether you attend school up north, you need that beanie. Whether you are down south as I am, you need just a hat and t-shirt because the summer is coming and you do not want to be wrapped up in a full black hoodie in the middle of summer in Oklahoma. I'll tell you that one right now. So a great t-shirt would look amazing. The Armory has everything you could ever want when it comes to that apparel. So go check out the store, collegecod.com/store. Real easy link to remember. It'll probably pop itself up in chat at some point. Go over there, check it out. And I think you already bought some. I know you and Shift were talking about that beforehand. Now I need to get in on that beautiful merch, get myself a nice tee.
Absolutely. I got 3 words for you, Morgan. Drip, drip, drip. That stuff is top notch. And yeah, I already got a sweatshirt. I'm eyeing down the polo as well. Big golf for myself. Show up to the course in that. You don't want to be placing bets against me when I show up in a CCO polo. That's
it's pure birdies. It's pure birdies.
Nothing but birdie bombs when I show up in that thing. So yeah, just unbelievable merch. The champion collab.
Yeah, and I'm saying, like, people love the sports coat. Imagine that sick black and silver underneath. Whoo! Oh, Camber. I'm getting excited. I'm going to have to open up a new tab while we are in the break. But for right now, we are going to send it to a quick break. When we come back, I'm going to have a new color caster. You've already picked up 3 for yourself thus far and did a damn fine job at it. Proper is going to be joining us for UTD Orange, taking on SIUE Red for the final matchup of today. Alpha Stream trying to wrap things up. Stick around for the end of playoffs day 1.
Since 2018,